Hey, do you guys have an Instagram? I have an Instagram. You should follow me here because I post everything here first before Tumblr and YouTube and Twitter and everything else. And I post it right when I wake up in the morning. And I have a lot of whips and doodles and pictures that you haven't seen before. And sometimes I have a selfie, like I have a selfie somewhere down here before. And I also have venting stuff. So yeah, you guys should follow me here because I want people to think I'm cool. And also, yes, thank you for following me here. Okay, there's my Instagram. Bye. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to a video on making end slates, or maybe it's a tutorial. I don't know if you want to call it that. But this is definitely going to be a bit biased towards my personal preference, so don't take everything super seriously in this video, but I will give you like some very basic tips that you probably should follow, such as right here, the dimensions of the end slate. The dimensions of the end slate should be the dimensions of your normal video, which is at least 1280 by 720. If you are an artist and you want to make things super personalized and you have to use big canvases for some reason, you can always go my route, which is 1920 by 180. It's the same resolution. I don't know the word for it, but it's still going to look really good with these dimensions. It's just a bit bigger, you know? So whichever one works for you. If you like a bigger canvas, you can go with this dimensions. And if you like something that's just, the bare minimum, it would be 1280 by 720, whichever works for you. I definitely recommend that it is no smaller than 1280 by 720 because it will be blurry and not look good at all. So let's start designing your end slate. If you are an artist such as me, you probably have a digital art program such as FireAlpaca or Paint Tool Sci, Photoshop, and you can make it there. But if you don't have any of those programs and you don't want to download one, there are a lot of websites online that make it easy for you to design your own thumbnails and end slates without having to have this kind of program. So the most popular one that I've heard of is PicMonkey, which is right here. You can see PicMonkey up here. And if you want to make a thumbnail or end slate, you just have to hover over here to the design and then click custom. And this is where you're going to put your 180 by 720. And here you go. So if you want to just work with this, you can. There are a lot of tutorials on PicMonkey actually on YouTube. So if you do plan on using this website, then you can go ahead and look up PicMonkey tutorial, or you can look up how to, end slate tutorial on YouTube. And a majority of people will be using this website. But I am not, because I have an art program. So everything still applies, design-wise, but I'm just going to be using my own program. So here we go. Design-wise, with colors, I tend to keep the colors very simple. I don't want to go overboard with my colors. I don't want to make an eye strain for people. So, maybe some solid colors, or, I know gradients are very popular. Try to make it super, chill. I don't recommend you do one of those, like word art kind of things. So something like this might be a bit too overwhelming for people, even though it's just a rainbow. It's very, it's a lot to take in, and you want to do something kind of simple, and you want to work with colors that work well together if you do tend to use something other than just one solid color. If you're wondering what colors work together, guess what? There are a lot of websites out there for color palettes. Honestly, just gotta go to Google and search up color palette like this, as most people would do, and there are a lot of websites for this. See, it's like super easy. This website's pretty cool, colorlovers.com/palettes. I think people can upload their own color palettes, and so you can figure out which ones you like, which one is, kind of chill, something that catches your eye, but something that doesn't hurt your eyes, This one's really good. Oh, but yes, so if you don't want to come up with your own color palette, just look some up. It's not that hard. Both of my end slates, they're pretty artsy. So my first one, you can see I tried to make it look like lined paper because I'm an artist. And the second one was graph paper because, again, I'm an artist. So that's something I kind of worked with. Patterns are okay for end slates, as long as, again, it's not super just bam, right in your face, You want to be able to have people have more concentration on what's going to be on your end slate rather than the colors and the patterns. So let's talk about what you can add to an end slate. So the whole point of an end slate is to convince people to watch your other videos or to subscribe or to follow you on social media, etc., etc. It's supposed to grab people's attention so that they stick with you longer and they end up supporting you. So let's talk about your previous videos. Most end cards, if you haven't noticed, have a link to a previous video. So this is my very first end slate, and as you can see, I did have a section right here for me to put a clip of my previous video so that if people wanted to watch more of my videos, they could just click here and it would take them to that video. In my newest end slate, I did not put previous video like I did here just because I had a lot of trouble. Sometimes my videos don't come out in the right order, so it didn't always work out. But I would still put a clip of a video that was previous, whether it was from that week or maybe, a month ago. It doesn't really matter as long as it's something that's already out. I had it here. So I do recommend that you do some kind of clip or picture of a previous video. Think visuals. If you just have a text that's like click here for previous video or whatever, there's a good chance that people might not click there for a previous video. So having a clip or a screenshot of your previous video lets people know what to expect, what they're clicking on. If you have something just like a text or just a random doodle that's supposed to be, a link to your previous video, people don't know what they're clicking into. People might not be interested, and it definitely does not grab anyone's attention. Again, if you have a clip or a screenshot of that video, more people are going to see it. It's going to be right there in your face, and people will be able to determine whether or not they are interested, and there's a good chance that if they saw your video, they probably are interested. If you are wondering how to do a clip or a screenshot into that right there, I will show you how right now. So here I am on iMovie Maker, which is the video editing software that I use. It came with my Mac, so if you have a Mac computer, you should have iMovie. If you have a computer that's not Mac and it has Windows, then you should have Windows Movie Maker, and I'm pretty sure you can do the same exact things like when it comes to adding a clip or a screenshot on top of your end slate. If you have Windows Movie Maker or something else, and you don't know how to do it and you want to ask me, hey Leslie, how do you do it with this program? My suggestion is to go on Google and then look it up yourself, because I'm not going to do your research for you. Okay, so here is my end slate, and I've got my little area right here, which is where I post my clips. Okay, I'm going to post this clip. So if you're going to post a clip onto another clip on iMovie, just get that clip, select it right here, and then drag it. And you see how there's like a line to show that it's going to be attached to it. There you go. You're going to drag it on top like that. And there's a little line right here that shows that it's attached to it. And as you can see, it took up the entire screen. So what you're going to want to do is go up here and click to, go here and then click picture in picture. So I forgot what version of iMovie I have. I'm pretty sure this is one of the newest versions. With other versions, it's going to be a bit different, but it's always going to be called picture in picture. And then you would just drag it to your area and then resize it and then just fit it in there. And ta-da! Another thing for having a preview to another video is to keep it to a maximum of 3. 3 is the maximum in my opinion. Even that is pretty, I get overwhelmed with just 3. So I recommend either 1 or 2 previews to past videos so that people have like an option. Don't go overboard and put 6 different clips going on at the same time. It's way too much and it looks a bit desperate. So just chill out with that. All right. Next up, we're going to be talking about some social media links. So as you can see right here, I have all of my social media links, or at least a majority of them. I have Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and Redbubble. A lot of people in their end slates like to add these kinds of links. And if you're an artist like me, this is a very good chance to kind of personalize it. So as you can see, I drew it myself. There's, a lot of texture to it. I have that I drew. I'm not going to change it to the new one. Screw you. And look at that. See, there's nobody else on YouTube that has the exact same icon because I made this myself. And if you want to do that too, that'd be great because it's 100% customizable and it'll be 100% unique. Even though it's the icon that everybody else uses, it's something that you made yourself and nobody's going to have that. But if for some reason, if you're not an artist or you just don't feel like making your own, all you gotta do, go to Google and then search up like Instagram icon, and ta-da, you've got it right here to add to it. So yes, using icons of social media will work to grab people's attention and to follow you there. There are some people who will have the icon of the social media and then they'll type out the link to their social media or their username onto there. You are free to do that as well. I personally don't do that because I like to have a lot of room for a drawing that makes my end slates a bit more unique and mine and customizable. And also when I see an end slate with way too much text, I get overwhelmed. So that might be something you want to keep in mind. Maybe too much text might drive some people away. It might not. That might just be a thing for me. The next thing that I suggest that you have on your end slate is some kind of button for people to click on to subscribe. Again, since I'm an artist, I made it customizable and I drew the button myself. Even right here, it's a different button, but I drew it myself. Again, if you're an artist, you should feel free to do this as nobody else will have that button. But if you don't want to draw it, again, you could just go to Google and search, let me see, subscribe button. That should do it. Look at all these buttons for you to use. They're all here. Again, you should probably make sure that you're allowed to use it, but I can guarantee that a majority of these are free to use. So having a subscribe button really does help you with subscribers, and it makes it easy for them, and it reminds them, it's like right in their face, like, hey, I've got more videos to offer you, The last thing I have is this doodle. Of course, this is completely optional. Most of you guys will not have a kind of doodle because, you just kind of want to have the basics. And if you just want the basics, such as this, that is completely fine, okay? If you do want to have some kind of doodle or whatever to make your end slate kind of customizable and just for you, and you're not an artist, or you just are not comfortable enough or confident enough in your own art skills to make your own, there are a lot of artists out there who have commissions open who you can pay to draw for you. And so if you do want some kind of customizable art for your end slate, you can go ahead and call those artists up and ask them for a commission for your end slate and, provide the dimensions for them, and they will be able to do just that for you. The last thing to keep in mind about end slates is the music when they play. So most people will have music when their end slate is showing, or some other people may have the actual audio of the clip that's going to be in here. Whichever one works for you, just work with it. I will say if you do use music for your end slate, make sure it's, music that you're allowed to use. Make sure you're not going to get in trouble for it. So, make sure it's okay to use, and also make sure it's you pick your music wisely. Make sure it has it gives off the vibe or the tone of either your videos or your personality. Make sure it fits. And also, when it comes to the time of your end slate, as in how long it should go, I recommend that it's no longer than a minute, and even a minute is pushing it a bit too far. That is a very long end slate. My end slate is about 30 seconds, which I personally think is a bit too long as well, but it's long enough for people to actually watch the clip of my previous video and then figure out, okay, I do want to watch that, So make sure it's at least 10 seconds long, just so that people can get, a view of it, but no longer than a minute. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful and gave you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching. You can request more videos because I love making these videos for you. And expect some Q&As pretty soon. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay. Thank you for watching. Bye!